Hi friends, how are you guys today? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. If you're not having an amazing day, I really hope that your day gets better from here on out. My name is Shanda and welcome to my channel, you guys. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We usually do commentary on this channel, but I've been wanting to start doing story times and vlogs as well on this channel, but I've never actually started it. I don't know if I've just been like nervous to start it, but I think that this will be the perfect vlog type video to start vlogging. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, I hope you at least give it a chance. Find it informative or it makes you smile, something. So I actually got my very first lizard and I'm going to show you guys everything and how I did everything in his enclosure and all the mistakes that I made. So it might help somebody else. So why don't you guys sit back, relax, and let's get right into the video. Okay, you guys, so the lizard that we chose was an Australian Water Dragon. Now, we went through all kinds of lizards and we actually looked on this channel. There is a channel on YouTube called Clints Reptiles, and I will link that down below. But this guy is really smart, and he has a channel where he shows you all different kinds of lizards and snakes and all kinds of reptiles and amphibians. And he tells you all the pros and cons and everything that you would need for that type of reptile to keep as a pet, and he kind of rates them as like 1 to 5 on how they would be for a pet. So like that really helped us pick one, and he showed us all different kinds of lizards and breeds. And honestly, of course, I really wanted a black and white Argentine black and white tegu, and that's the one I wanted. I really wanted it, and I still really want it, but it gets really big, and the enclosure has to be really big. So I didn't know if it would be the best right now. I didn't know if I'd be able to keep it really comfortable. Maybe I have to get like a bigger house. Like maybe when I get a bigger house one day, I can possibly get one, but I would love to have one. So besides that, we decided to get a Australian Water Dragon. That is the one that we chose. We chose this lizard because it's really friendly, and it's like a tropical one. It swims, it has like, it also swims a lot, and it climbs, and it's they're really nice, and they don't die really easily. Like I did want a blue spotted tree monitor as well, but they said that with those, any little tiny mistake that you make, they can just die, and they're really expensive, so that would suck if you made. And I've already made so many mistakes, like with the enclosure before we got him. I'll tell you guys, I wouldn't want, that's a really expensive mistake. So we decided on the Australian Water Dragon, and we found this guy online, and he just happened to have the babies right now. We did do a lot of research on them before we got him, but we found this guy and he had babies right now, and he, I don't know how many times a year that people get babies, so we decided to hop on the opportunity, and we decided to go ahead and get one. So we got a male, and his name is Drax. We named him Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he looks like a raptor in the face from Jurassic Park. He's really cool. And the guy we got him off of, I actually, after we got him, I was doing some more research, and I saw this video on YouTube, and this guy was on it, and I was like, isn't that the guy that we bought him from? And I went and looked, and it is the same guy. So he was on a YouTube channel. He's a really reputable breeder, so he we know that he was bred healthily, if that's even a word, and he is captive bred, and this guy really seems to know what he's doing, so it's a good thing that we got him from him. And I'll link that video down below for you guys as well. So we got this lizard. He was $500, and with shipping he was $575, and he overnighted them to us. He only ships out on Tuesdays, but he shipped ours out on Wednesday because of Memorial Day. He didn't want to ship them right after Memorial Day in case there was a lot of backed mail, and he wouldn't be delivered right away, which would be awful. So he shipped them to us on Wednesday, and we got him, and he overnighted him to us, and we got him, and I couldn't wait to open him. We finally open him, and we put him in his enclosure, and he is super fast. He is like lightning fast, you guys, and he is like very, very skittish and very shy, and he just takes off. And like I read that it was very common for them to be like that when they're babies, but when they grow up, they bond with you, and they're not like that anymore, and you can handle them, and they're fine. But when they're babies, they're really, really hard to bond with, and they're super fast, and I'm afraid to try and bond with him because I'm afraid that he will just jump out of the cage and run under something, and I'll never find him again because he's so little. So, we're going to do a bonding video soon, but I think we're going to have to take him to the bathtub or something. But even then, I'm like, I'm afraid he'll go down the drain because he's so fast and little. But we'll make sure that doesn't happen. But anyways, so we finally got our baby, but before we got him, we prepared for him, of course, and we got everything we needed for him, and you guys, it was an absolute disaster. We had so many issues, it was crazy. First, we went out and we got everything for him that we needed, and it turned out to be all wrong for one reason or the other. So we ended up having to take everything back and at different times. It was just crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and go through everything that we got for him initially and tell you why it was all wrong and tell you all the problems that we had. So maybe if you're thinking of getting an Australian Water Dragon, it might help you in the future knowing all the mistakes that I made. So let's go ahead and go through that. So this is everything that we got for Drax. This is a 20-gallon aquarium. Now this aquarium, the first problem with it is it doesn't open from the front, which is a big issue apparently, because he has to have a basking light, a ceramic light at night, a UVB light, and a mister. So, like, having all of that stuff on the top of the tank is really, really hard to move that and get in there to feed him and anything you need to do. But, so we got him this tank, and then we got him the top of the tank, and the top, I bought a glass top because they have to have humidity of at least 60%. So I thought a glass top will keep the humidity in the tank. Well, what I didn't know was that UVB light cannot penetrate glass. So, oops. I then tried to put the UVB light on the inside of the glass, but it was too big for this small tank. And we got a small tank because people were saying that if you get too big of a tank for babies, it can stress them out. I've heard people saying that about this particular breed of lizard, and then I heard people saying that that wasn't true with this breed. And if you really do a lot of research in the reptile community, you will see that not a lot of people agree on anything. There's so many different ways and so many different ways, like, for things for people to do in their way, and I mean, who knows, like, what's right or wrong, but if it works for you, then it works for you. So I just wanted to let you guys know what works for us and what we did wrong, so it might help you. So we then got the mesh top, but I still wanted to keep the humidity in, so I went to Lowe's and gave them the dimensions of the top without the UVB and the basking lights, to have them cut me a piece of glass and a piece of plexiglass to put on top. Well, then I got home and, oh yeah, the mister has tubes that go in, and those tubes that go in I had to then drill holes in the plexiglass to try and get the tubes in there, and of course when I did that, it just broke apart. That didn't work. But I do know now that it's not a big deal. You don't have to cover the top. It's fine, especially if you have a mister. It keeps the humidity at a certain percentage, so it's fine. But we also got this Reptirain mister for him as well, and this mister, I didn't like it. I ended up taking this back also because it sprays really, like, it doesn't mist. It's more like a sprinkler, and he did not like it. And we needed something like more fine to where it's like more of a mist. And it also literally sprayed so much, you had to fill it up like every 2 hours. It was insane. So I didn't like that. Drax didn't like it. We ended up taking that back and getting a different one. But we also had all these problems with the lights. All of the lights were too big for this little tank, and he didn't have an area, like a cooler area, because the tank was so small, and the lights that he needed, it didn't work. So I was trying to take all the lights back to like get smaller lights that will fit, but like strong enough for him. It was a nightmare. And finally, it dawned on me, like, hey idiot, why don't you just get a bigger tank? Yeah, good idea. So I finally, went out and got a bigger tank. And this is the enclosure that we got from PetSmart. We went and got this enclosure from PetSmart. We brought it home, and when we took it out of the box, this right here, there was in the door, there was a big crack in the door, and as soon as you opened it, it like was breaking and just broke apart. So we had to take it back to PetSmart and exchange it. Something else to exchange. Like, the people at PetSmart are literally like, hey, you got a return again? So we had to take this back, but they didn't have another one, so we had to go to a different PetSmart in a different city, and they only had one left, so we were able to exchange it, and we brought it home. And by this time, we already had everything set up for him and had him already in his other enclosure, but nothing was working. So we had to change everything to this enclosure. We also had springtails and isopods in the smaller tank as well. We were we're going bioactive with the enclosure, which is a really, really great idea when you have a reptile to go bioactive, so that you don't have to clean the tank all the time and clean the waste, the poop from your reptile. And those bugs like keep it clean, and you don't have to barely ever clean it as much. And when you have so much stuff in the enclosure like this, it's a nightmare to clean it all the time. So it's a great idea to go bioactive. So we had to switch everything over to this tank, and we had to get new substrate, so we had to get more isopods and more springtails, and it was just, it was crazy, you guys. So, but we were able to finally do it. And then, like I said, we're trying to bond with our lizard, and like, we sit here by the enclosure, and we'll just sit here and talk to him, or I'll do like my work at this table and I'll just talk to him. But you also want to get to the point where you can actually touch him, which he still doesn't let us touch him. I opened the door, and I was watching this YouTube video that was trying to tell you how to bond with your lizard, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. Stupid. We tried to bond with him, and of course he, like I said, he's super lightning fast. He just darted out and jumped out of the enclosure, and I freaked out, and we like bent down to get him, and the door opened when we bent down. I stood up, and the door broke off, fell on the ground, shattered everywhere. Great. So we had to literally saran wrap it and buy another door. Thankfully, they just sell the doors. But there was only a left door on Amazon, which thankfully it was a left door that broke. So yeah, that happened. And then I got him, for his swimming area, a plastic like tote thing, because it needed to be big enough. We got him at first, the reptile bowl wasn't big enough, ended up taking that back, and I just got him like a plastic tote that you put little toys in, and we put his log in it that he likes, and then the log ended up cracking the corner, and I saw that there was no more water in his pool, and it was all down here. And we do have a drainage layer, but it was so much water, it was gonna just ruin it and mold. So we had to take everything out and redo it again. And I went and got a glass cake pan from Kroger, so it's glass, and that won't happen again. But it was just, there were so many mistakes, so much craziness and nonsense that went in this, and no matter how much research we did beforehand, I swear I felt prepared. It all just went wrong. Everything went wrong. It was to the point where it was just funny. Like, I just couldn't help but laugh when these things were happening, because it was just all constantly, one after another. It was crazy. So that is my little story of the disaster. And now I'm going to go through everything that we have for his enclosure now, and let you guys know how all of that is working. And I'll show you all the settings that we have everything on in the climate control center and everything like that. And hopefully that will help somebody out there. So let's go ahead and go through all of that. Okay, so this is the enclosure that we finally ended up getting, and it is an Exoterra terrarium, and it is 36 by 18 by 18. And of course, you can see that it does open from the front, which is great. And we also have the Reptizoo dual lamp holder, and we have the 150 watt heat lamp for his basking and a 100-watt ceramic heater for his nighttime warmth. And we also have the ZooMed 24-inch T5 UVB light fixture, and it's 10% UVB light. We have the Reptizoo 10-liter reptile mister. This is the new mister that we got, and it sprays fantastic. It's really fine, and it's like a mist. It's not like a sprinkler, and it's great. He seems to really like this a lot better, and we don't have to fill it up constantly, which is also great. And it's really easy to fill up as well. You just have to pour it like literally right on top here on the side, and it's great. Everything that we have, all of his lights and his mister, is all connected to a ZooMed Environmental Control Center. Now this thing is awesome, and you can control everything with this. You can set all the settings, and I'll go through the settings and show you guys what all of our settings are on, but you can have the lights turn on and off at a certain time, and it keeps the entire enclosure at a certain temperature, a certain temperature on one side and then the other side for day and night, and the humidity at a certain level. It's awesome. So we'll go through the settings as well. There's also a hydrometer thermometer gauge at each side of the enclosure as well. The settings on the control center is daytime. We have him on a 12-hour day and night cycle. So the lights turn on at 9 a.m. They turn off at 9 p.m. So he has a 12-hour day and night cycle. Daytime, his basking temperature is at 100 degrees. And at nighttime, it's at 80 degrees. The humidity is always at 65% humidity. The temperature gradient is 100 on the basking side, 80 on the cool side for daytime, and at nighttime it's 80 degrees to room temperature. So it's like, it controls everything. Now if we didn't have this thing, we would have to wake up and turn the lights on and off, and always check that little gauge for the humidity, and we would have to turn the mister on and off at certain times. It just makes it so much easier. I really highly recommend a climate control center if you have a lizard, especially one where you have to control so much to make sure they are healthy and thriving. Hi baby, what are you doing? We're talking about Drax. We're talking about Drax right now. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys everything that we have in here. We have the drainage layer that I talked about. It is lava rock, and it's just lava rock from Lowe's. And the garden mesh is on top of that, and that is to separate the drainage layer from the substrate. And you can also get that at any local Lowe's or any kind of store like that. Now the drainage layer collects all of the moisture from the substrate and makes it so it doesn't get too moist in there. Moist. I hate that word, moist. The substrate is a mixture of Eco Earth, stagnant moss, and Scott's Premium topsoil. And the soil has been baked at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. And then it's been sifted through very vigorously with the colander. And we got out all the other particles and like little long pieces of wood and stuff. So it's all just the dirt. And it's all completely sterilized, and there's no bacteria. It like kills all the bugs and all the bacteria and all of the eggs that might be in there. because I have heard somebody say that they went and got like that soil and they just put it in their enclosure, and then all of a sudden there was tons of millipedes in the enclosure. So like there must have been like eggs in the soil or something. So we didn't want that to happen, so we made sure to bake the soil and sterilize it. So it is, the substrate is 60% Eco Earth, 30% Scott's topsoil, and 10% sphagnum moss. The sphagnum moss is also drizzled or sprinkled across the top as well. Like I talked about earlier, this enclosure is bioactive as well, so they call it the cleanup crew. We have powdered blue isopods. We got those from just the local PetSmart, and we have 2 cultures of springtails in there as well. You do have to feed the cleanup crew, which I didn't know at first, but there is this really awesome cleanup crew food, and that is from Josh's Frogs, and it's called Cleanup Crew Cuisine, and it's these little tiny balls, and you just take one of those and put it down, press it down in the soil once a month. That's it. And that feeds the isopods and springtails as well. Inside the enclosure, we have a natural slate stone for his basking rock, for him to lay on and bask. And I've read that slate is the best for them to like bask on. There's spiderwood branches in there as well, and there's a large spiderwood root. There's a large piece of mopani wood, and there is a log hide as well. Now his swimming area over here, of course I told you it's now glass cake pan, and in the bottom of his swimming area there is a fluorite planted aquarium substrate clay rock, and this has also been vigorously cleaned and sifted through as well. We also have here a Repto water filter, and this water filter filters his swimming water, and it makes it to where you only have to change the water monthly, and it also gives him a waterfall. We then decided to put a large pothos plant in the water, and we made it to where it actually grows in the water and helps filter the water as well. And this plant also helps keep the humidity up as well, and it gives them like a natural hide, and he definitely loves this plant. I always see him like laying on top of this plant or like hiding in the plant, and he definitely likes it. So we got this pothos plant just at the local store. I think Lowe's is where we got it. And we thoroughly washed the roots. We washed all the dirt and soil off of the roots because you don't want to contaminate your water. And after washing the roots, we cut about half of the roots off. And so now there's new roots, and they can grow and they can adjust to growing in water. So we planted the roots inside of the water bowl, and the roots are pushed down into the clay aquarium substrate to give the plant roots something to hang on to and something to grow in. So when we feed Drax, we alternate between small crickets and small dubia roaches as well. Whatever bug we give him, you have to make sure that it's no bigger than the space between his eyes. And we also give him really finely cut collard greens as well to get him used to his greens. This is the Reptivite that we give him. You have to give your reptiles vitamins as well. and this is Reptivite with D3. We give him this once or twice a month. We just sprinkle it on the bugs that he eats. So this is once or twice a month. Here is the Repticalcium as well, and this is without D3. Now we give him this a couple times a week. And there is calcium with D3, but we got without because his other vitamins has it, and he also gets a lot of D3 from his lights as well. And you don't want to give him too much D3 because their bones can calcify as well. So we just give them that a couple times a week, and the Reptivite is once or twice a month. So that is what he eats, and that's pretty much everything that we have been doing for him so far. We still have not been able to barely touch him, but we're going to try it soon, and I am going to try to do like a bonding video and see how that goes. But that is everything for this video, you guys. I really hope that if you or somebody you know out there is thinking about getting an Australian Water Dragon, I hope that this video maybe helped you a little bit. If you guys have any questions, I'm definitely not an expert, but if you have any questions on any of the stupid mistakes that I made or anything, just let me know in the comments. If you guys have any information that might help me as well, definitely let me know in the comments as well. I would love any advice or opinions from you guys. I love hearing all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and it helps so much. If you guys like this kind of video, or if you like vlogs and you want me to start doing more vlogs, definitely let me know down below as well. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. Subscribe? That's not subscribing. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I'd love to have you guys in the family. I am planning on doing several videos a week. I just transferred into the vlogging. We usually do commentary. I'm planning on doing commentary still as well, and just adding the vlogs and stuff also. So let me know what you think, and definitely thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and it really means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much. I really hope to see you in the next video. And remember, guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind to each other. Love you guys. Bye.